White backgrounds, that's what we're going to talk about today. What's going on, prime timers? Thanks for coming by to check out another video. Old subscribers, new subscribers, everybody welcome in. This is a popular topic that a lot of people are trying to learn more information about because you're trying to make your images pop so that you can make that sale on eBay or Poshmark or Mercari or wherever it is you are selling. Now, while white backgrounds are good to have, they're not essential. There are ways around it. I want to talk to you about different options though if you want to go the white background route, especially if you are brand new into reselling and trying to figure out how to do this, because what a lot of you are doing at this point is just taking pictures of items on your bed or on the floor, and you're looking to upgrade to look more professional. And so I'm going to give you a bunch of different options because everyone is really at a different financial situation in terms of how much they're willing to invest in their business, especially in the beginning when they're starting out with reselling. And so I want to just give you different options just depending on the situation that you're in. And I'm going to just start off by covering some of the main options you have for trying to add white backgrounds into your listings. Now, this right here, what you see, is called a lighting kit. And if you're not familiar with that, brand new, this is basically a kit that you would purchase in which you would shine these big giant lights onto your items, which are basically positioned in front of some sort of, typically like a big white sheet or a big white piece of paper. It would look something like this, and this is one of the actual drawbacks of it. I'll show you right here. This would be your average setup of a lighting kit, and you could see here, a lot of people sell clothes, so you'd have your mannequin here on top of a like a footstool or something like that, or some kind of like bench, and then you would shine the lights right onto it, and the brightness of the light would take out any wrinkles that were in this sheet or were on like a piece of paper, big white piece of paper. A lot of people will go out to like Michael's, for example, and buy a big giant piece of crafting paper and hang that from a wall, or tape it up somewhere, and then they will put the object that they're trying to light up in front of it, and the brightness of the light will just knock out. You can see here there's like a few wrinkles here. Those are never even going to show up when you shine that light on. It'll knock them right out. And so the advantage of that is that you're going to get really nice crisp white photos. They really are going to pop. All you pretty much have to do is some cutting and pasting afterwards, and you're all set. The downside of it is the space that it does take up. As you can see here, you really want to have a dedicated spot where you could just leave this stuff, because if you have to keep disassembling and reassembling these things each time, it's just going to be a big time waster. And time is money, and so you don't want to waste time. The other problem with it for some people, especially starting out new, is they see the cost. It says $64, and they don't want to invest that right off the bat, especially if they're just starting out. Now, of course, the argument to purchasing it, if you had the space, would be that the increased sales you're going to make from having these nice white backgrounds is going to pay for the lighting kit eventually anyway, and it's not going to take too long. After several sales, you should make the money up for it. So but again, not a lot of people that are starting out jump right into the lighting kit, and so they're looking for other options that are more cost effective for them. And so one other option here, this is where I got that photo, so I'm just going to knock that out right here. One other option that you have is you can go out and you could either purchase one of those big giant pieces of paper that I was talking about, those big white piece of paper that you get at like a crafting store, or one of the things I like to use is you could go out and you could get one of these project boards. This is a 36 by 48 whiteboard, as you can see here. Okay, and so this one's a tri-fold, and they're good. Several reasons why they're good. One, you can just have it up like this, and then you could put this right on top of a table, and then you could put your object right in front of it, and you could take the picture right here. Okay, so you could have this like on a table and then have a standing up item right there. Or if you want to, you can just lay this flat like this and put an item face down, and then you just take the picture of the item face down from overhead. So you could do that as well. Now, the advantage of this approach is that it does not cost a lot of money. So you could, if you use your 40% off coupon at Hobby Lobby, you could get this for just a few dollars. The downside of it, so the upside of it is that it doesn't cost a lot, and that it is flexible in terms of it doesn't take a long time to take it down, put it back up. It's, you know, very easy to store. It folds in on itself. It's tri-fold. That's good. The downside of it, though, is that it's susceptible to wear over time, and so shelf life for something like this will be about a few months that you get out of it, maybe like 3 months or so. Because what's going to happen over time is that, and I don't know if I have little marks on here that I can show you, but they are going to get, like, here's an example right over here, if you could see it. They are going to get like little dings and stuff on it, and little like discoloration marks. And believe me, they are going to show up in your photos, and then you have to start cropping that out, and so it doesn't show up. The other problem, as you can see here, is over time, if you get the tri-fold ones, that they are going to start coming apart, which requires you to have to tape them together to not fall apart anymore. So we're actually going to go get 2 more of these, because what I would actually suggest, it actually does look better, is if you have one of these up, you know, facing upright like this, and then you have another one right on the bottom, because what that will do is it will make it look white all the way around. So if you are shooting on a table that is a wood table and it's brown, you're going to have a brown bottom and you're going to have a white top, and that's not going to, you know, look terrible. But if you want it to look completely white all the way around, you could do that. Another thing that you can do to enhance the white background, because even if you do this, and I'm going to show you an example in a moment of using this actual board, it's not always going to look perfectly white and perfectly bright. It depends how much light you have shining down on top of it. So it still might appear a little bit you know, a little bit grayish sometimes, or just not a pure white. So one of the things that you can do to help with that, if you have an iPhone, for example, is once you take the photo on top or in front of this whiteboard, is just go down to your, you know, open up your camera and go to edit, just hit edit, and on the bottom you're going to see different options. You're going to see 3 circles that overlap one another. Hit that, and then it'll give you different options, one of which is vivid. Usually if you click vivid, that will make the image appear brighter while not distorting the actual color of your item. So it'll just nicely just brighten up that background. So try that. Now sometimes you have to play around with different ones. There's Vivid Cool, for example, that you could use, or you could just hit edit, and then you'll see there's like a little button that looks like a light. You just hit that and just move it up or down, and that will adjust the lighting for you. So you could try that approach. I'll show you here. This is an example of something that I took over the whiteboard. I actually just did this one tonight, and this one, you know, it's pretty good, you know, for just using you know, a piece of poster board. Not bad. Now, it's not the purest white, and this is after me touching it up, but you know what? It really does its job. And so this is, again, a cost-effective method that you could consider, you know, to use to make those images pop. I have one here, as you can see, as well. Here too, so it looks pretty good. Now this right here is the normal eBay white background, and that is just a nice pure solid white. But you know, if you really want to be technical about it, this is not the same exact color white. It's a little off color, in terms of the whiteness, so you could see a difference. And ideally, if you want the perfect white background, you should not be able to see any split in terms of where your white background is and eBay's white background is. That's the perfect, most professional type of image. So, it really just depends on, how much you want to put into it to get that perfect look. There's options out there. I'm going to show you a computer-based touch-up option in just a moment, and I'll take you through how to use it so you could see that. Now, I don't believe that white backgrounds are necessary in all situations. It depends sometimes on the color of the item and what the item is. So for example, for my shirts, I like to actually put them in front of a nice wood background, and I use a wood hanger to make it look professional. Don't use plastic hangers, folks. If you're using those and you're new, please throw those out. The reason why is because they make the item look cheap. Plastic, after all, people call it, they refer to it as cheap plastic. You don't want that. You don't want people associating your item with the word cheap. So if you use this nice wood hanger, it gives it a nice professional look. Just crop it in front of like a wood door or something like that. So you and also you notice this is a white shirt. And so for a white shirt, it's, you'd like to have some contrast in the background. So as solid of a wood background as you could get, this is a door that this is taken in front of, and it's, just hanging from the top off of a hook, and I just crop it so you don't see the hook. And so, a lot of people like, wood background looks nice for a lot of people. They like to look at, at solid wood backgrounds and almost look like it's being framed. So you could use that as an option as well. You could use it for books. You could see here I use it for a white book. It's just a nice solid wood background, nice wood table. Just put it right on there and you are all set. I mean, it really looks good that way. So, don't, again, get into this mindset that every single thing always has to be a white background. Have it as a tool that's ready for you to use if you need it. Now, I'm going to show you an example of one that I put up today in terms of getting a white background on it that's pure, solid, professional white for an item that I felt could use it, and so I busted out this tool to try it, and I'll show you what the results were of it. So this is using an app here. Well, not an app. It's actually a desktop. It probably is available as an app, but it's desktop as well as how I was using it. It's called PhotoFuze. Now, I found out about this program through Wade from Wade's Ventures, so go check out Wade if you have not checked his channel out yet. He's full of great tips, and Instagram as well. Check out Wade. But this is just one of many tools available. I have not reviewed all the tools available, but I selected this one because it is free, and I know Wade uses it as well, and Wade puts up some good pictures, or great pictures for his items. So so that's why I wanted to show you this one. So now, by the way, before I go into tutorial on this one, if you know of a white background program that you use and that you feel is helpful, drop it down in the comment section, and I very well may do a review on it on this channel so people can see. Let me know if it's something that's free or it's something that you have to invest in. Usually if you have to invest in it, it costs a couple bucks or so. But let me show you the item I'm talking about here. Now, this is an item that Mrs. Primetime, my wife, had taken a picture of today, and it is a beer tap. And the issue with it is it really, it's not a white item, obviously. It's dark, and so that provides really good contrast with the white background. And so if you, for items like that especially, if you could get it to be pure solid white, it would be great. Now here, this is, as you can see here, there's a little seam here. This is from the trifold. This is from, I'll actually cut it out here so you could see. Oops, that was the wrong, I should have cropped it out. That's, sorry, my fault. So we'll crop that out, and you can see here, while it is a white background and it would be sufficient, it's not perfectly white. It's off-white. It's not that white that's really going to make it pop. So I could put these up if I want to. I could even touch it up with the light buttons on, and this is not touched up, but I could touch it up with the light buttons on on my phone, but it's still not going to make it that perfect white that we want. So how do we do that? Let me show you what PhotoFuze does. Basically, it doesn't cost anything. You sign in, that's all. You have to give them like your email and a password, that sort of thing. And then you get these different albums you could use. I don't know what the limit is in terms of how much you could use. I don't see that there's any limit. And you just hit this camera icon and you add a photo to it. So you just upload the photo. And so I'm going to go over here to this right here. Here's the picture, and we're going to upload it. And so there it is. And you have different options, and the main one that you're going to want to pick is what's called the magic highlighter. And I'll show you what this does in a minute. Now there's another option called just a regular highlighter, but the magic highlighter is more automatic. So especially if you're brand new at this, I suggest using the magic highlighter. So you're just going to click that, and it's going to make this circle. And you take this circle and you just go down the item, and it works really good on these items like this that are vertical and just straight and kind of uniform, and you just bring it down like this. And you could go faster, I'm just showing you slowly so I could talk you through it. And what it's doing is it's doing edge detection, and so it is basically it's just separating out where it could detect the pixel edges from separating the white or whatever the background is from what the object is. And then it gives you a preview of it right here. Now that's probably too small for you to see, so I'm just going to hit finish, and we're going to open it up, and you're going to see what it looks like in just a moment. It just takes a while to, not long, usually just a few seconds. It'll spin around like that, and it'll eventually come up with the image in a few seconds. And I'll show you the difference in terms of what it looks like. It's really night and day. So here it is. That's how long it takes. And look at that. Nice, solid white background. Now I'll show you what it looks like in the actual images that I have for this. Let's see right here. This is the actual listing I put up. Now look at that. You see there, you cannot tell where my editing began and eBay's white background is, because it's a solid uniform white throughout the entire image. It really looks nice. Look at that. I mean, that could seriously make the difference between someone deciding to purchase your item versus walking away. That's how important white backgrounds can be sometimes. And keep in mind that eBay does have a preference in their algorithm for you using white backgrounds, and so it's not going to be a make or break thing, but it can help you. And if you do these close-up shots like this, I mean, just look at that. It's really nice. Now, it will sometimes cast a little shadow on the bottom, and I just would say with that, just leave the shadow there. If it's mild, you don't have to start going in and trying to chisel it out and stuff like that. Just leave it there. It's a professional look. It's okay. You could see here, look at that. It just really makes it pop. Here's a couple other images here and here. And here, here's another one. Look at that. I mean, just beautiful. And it's going to look better if, again, there's a big contrast. If you have dark items like this, it really works well. Now, in terms of where it could have a problem sometimes and be less effective, and where I would suggest it less, is if you're using it for a white background. Now, this is a different type of I should say a white item. If you're using for an item that has a lot of white in it, it could be more challenging. So, here we'll hit the magic button again, and we're going to go down, and it's going to select it again. But sometimes it can have a difficult time distinguishing between the whiteness of your item and the edges. Now this one, let's see how it does when we go and we do the extraction here. We'll see what happens. By the way, just in case you're wondering, you can see here there's a little bit of an overlap, right? And that's one of the problems with the system, is that it does tend to overlap sometimes, and so it doesn't always just keep it right within the boundary. So you can go in and try to edit it out, and that's by hitting this eraser tab right there. So you would just erase like that, And there I did a good erasure, but sometimes when you do the erasure, because this is a crude object, it's not fine-tuned, you might find yourself going over the item again, which means you then have to come back with the magic tool and you've got to go like this. Or if, let's say, you erased it like that, you can go in with the regular tool and just go like this and bring it up. Either way, the magic one is just, it's more automated or semi-automated in that it has more automatic detection of the edges as opposed to this one here. Now there's different adjustments you can make to brightness, background clarity, and sensitivity if you like. And it gives you some ideas of where there might be some errors in your processing based on some red marks. Those are not entirely accurate. I've had plenty of items that I've done like this that show red marks, and I extract it and it looks fine. So the best way to tell is to just go ahead, do an extraction. Now, okay, now there's a pro version of this which you have to pay for, which allows you to get big giant images. You don't need that, so we're just going to hit finish. I just hit the wrong button, but that's okay because it does show you there is a pro version available. I don't think you're going to need a pro version. You could just do fine with the regular version. So we're going to have this spin, and we're going to try to extract it here. Now, as it's doing that, one of the things that I actually don't like about this program is that that tool that you saw me use, I'm going to open it up right here. That tool that you saw me use, and by the way, if you want to just edit this, if like you see something that doesn't look right, then you just hit it like this, and you could go back in and you could just edit it. But what I was going to tell you is that you see this circle that comes up. That's good if you want to just, select this entire item here real quick. But if you want to make some fine-tuned little selections or eliminations of things, it would be way easier if there was more of like a pen or a pencil type of object that you could just kind of go through and do a more fine-tuned elimination. This is just with this big circle, just causes some extra work, and it's kind of annoying sometimes. So but anyway, going back to this, let's just go back to this here and see how it see again how it came out. It looks like it came out pretty good. However, when I was doing it earlier today, I was having some difficulty with it in terms of making a clear delineation of, let's see here. I hit the edit button again. See, this is, okay, we'll finish it again. Sorry about that. And actually, if you want to view the image, you have to actually hit the button that says view the image, not hit the main one. So here, we'll hit that again. There you go. So you could download it as large, or you could download it as extra large. Extra large image is going to cost money. This one is not. So I'm just going to download the regular version of it here, and then you can just open it up, and then you just save it as a file. This actually didn't come out bad. So this actually isn't bad at all. So you could use this. Although I will tell you, because it's white right here, you see right here, you can't really tell where the background starts and where the item starts. So what I decided to do for this one is just stick with my regular board background, and I'll show you the listing right here. So I gave it kind of an off-white background, and I feel that helps just kind of delineate the item better from the background compared to what I just showed you over, if it's still here, where it's a little more challenging to do that. I mean, either one would probably work okay, but it's it's just personal preference sometimes, and I feel this one looks good, using this approach. But white backgrounds look nice, folks. Here's again just using it with the poster board. Now you could see here, there's a little bit of the seam that you could see in the background, and if you want, you could cut that out if you really want to. Just cut and paste. I'll show you actually an example of if you wanted to do that. Let's see here. We'll just open up one of the files. So File, Open, and let's just go to Killian right here. So this is just a little, I'm going to expand this so you could see this a little bit bigger here, and we'll go up here. If you're working on something and you want to do a little touch up, so you see this seam right here, let's say we want to get rid of that, all you do is you just cut out, or not cut out, just crop or you know what, actually, to make it easier, just copy it. This way nothing gets removed. Just hit copy and then go over the line here, and then watch this. Just get it real close to it, edit, paste, and now it's pretty much gone. You know, you could see a little indication of it, but it does look better than that seam that was there. You know, if you want to be real technical with it, it just depends. I didn't think it was a big deal for this item. You know, there it is. We just did it again. And, you know, if you want to, you know, you could go down and you could do the same thing over here, or you could just, you know, cut the item so that it just goes right there. So this way you don't even really see the seam if that bothers you. So you could just, whoops, cut. Should crop it. I gotta know my cuts from my crops. There you go. All right, so you know, you could just do that if you want to. So those are different options available to you for white backgrounds, and I just want to make sure I passed all those different ideas on to you. I mean, of course, there's different things. You know, if you have a really small item, you could just take a plain white piece of paper, and you know, you could put the item right on top of that, shine some light on it, and take a picture that way. So there's different things you could do. This isn't an exhaustive review, but it is a review of some popular options that are out there, and I wanted to review each of them, tell you some pros and cons. The pro for this, by the way, I haven't explicitly said, but the pro for this is that obviously it's going to get you a nice solid white background that's really going to make that item pop better than any of the other options that I showed you, except for the lighting kit. Although again, the lighting kit has some cons associated with that, which might draw you towards something like this. The cons again of the lighting kit could be the initial expense and the whole setup that you have to do for it and the space that it takes up. This doesn't take up any space. It doesn't require any equipment outside of the computer, and it doesn't cost anything either. The downside of it is time, and it doesn't work perfectly for everything. Sometimes it does cast some shadows that you're not going to like, and it's just not going to make it look good. Here, like you can see this shadow that it casts down here, it's not that big of a deal. It's okay. But there's some items that you know, it really won't look good, and it could take a really long time to try to edit out all the shadows. And there's other items as well where, you know, it could just have, the tool could just have a difficult time making those discriminations between the edges and the white in the background. And so you might find that, you know, for some items it's just not worth the time that you have to invest. So time is really the downside of this, but again, it depends on the item. Some are going to go quicker than others, and I'm sure there are other programs out there again that you know, might even be faster or, you know, more efficient than this one, but this is the one I just wanted to show you because I came across it recently. So again, if you know other programs, feel free to let me know. Drop them down in the comment section. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Pass this on to others if you feel that this was something that helped you or benefited you. If you are using white backgrounds or not, let me know that in the comment section. Let me know what you're doing for white backgrounds if you're trying to implement them more. I would suggest trying to make an effort to implement more white backgrounds into your items in 2019. I think it is definitely an important thing to try to do, and I do believe it will help you sell some of your items. Make sure you come by to my Instagram account. That's at prime_time_treasure. So for example, yesterday where I didn't have a video up, if you would have gone over to my Instagram account, you would have seen 3 video clip tips that could help you with your reselling business that were exclusive to Instagram and not here on this channel. So I'm in different locations, different areas, presenting different aspects of reselling tips to help people out. If you go over to my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center, you're going to see a whole world open up of tips related to reselling. So please come by, check that out. The link to all these things are down below. Also, there's a link to the lighting kit down below as well if you're interested in pursuing that some more. It really just depends on your situation, what you like. If you have a photography background, for example, you really might love that lighting kit, or if you're more of a, you know, a tech person who loves to work with computers, then you might want to use the PhotoFuze option. It all depends. You know, and again, if you have no technological sophistication whatsoever, then hey, you might want to just use this, or if budget is an issue, you might want to just use that poster board. It's okay. You know, different strokes for different folks. Just you know, let me know what you like and what you found useful from the video, and I'll see you at the next one, folks. Take care, everyone.